There is a point in Zeinab Harake's videos when the vlog stops feeling like a show and starts feeling like a family group chat that somehow has millions of members. Someone is celebrating a birthday, someone is getting surprised, there is food on the table, a trip being planned, a prank going slightly too far, or a child asking a question that was probably not in the shooting plan. The camera is moving, people are talking over each other, and the whole thing feels casual. But behind that casual feeling is a very organized kind of work. Zeinab's official YouTube channel now has more than 15 million subscribers. Its recent uploads move between birthdays, travel, cooking, family bonding, challenges, collaborations, wedding memories, and ordinary days that are given a title and a thumbnail. That variety is important. Her channel is not built around one talent in the traditional sense. It is built around access to a life, or at least the feeling of access. The product is not only the event, the product is the invitation to be there while it happens. That is the interesting question around Zeinab Harake. When does a personal life become a format? Not when does a person become famous, because that question is already familiar. The more complicated question is, what happens after fame becomes part of the household? A birthday is no longer only a birthday. It can become an episode. A vacation is not only a vacation. It can become a story with a beginning, a reveal, a reaction, and a closing shot. Even a quiet family moment can carry the invisible pressure of being worth recording. This does not automatically make the moment fake. That is the lazy conclusion people often jump to. A camera changes a room, but it does not erase every feeling inside it. The excitement can still be real, the tears can still be real, the joke can still be funny. The problem is that the audience is not only watching what happened, we are also watching the way the event has been arranged for us. We see the good angle, the clean edit, the emotional music, the reaction that arrives at the right moment, and the title that tells us what to feel before we even press play. Zeinab understands this language very well. Her titles are direct and easy to read. They usually tell us the situation immediately: a surprise, a challenge, a trip, a celebration, a family problem, a collaboration. There is very little distance between the title and the promise. If the video says that someone is being surprised, we expect a reveal. If it says that the family is traveling, we expect movement, food, jokes, and a few beautiful shots. The clarity is part of the appeal. You do not need a complicated explanation to know what kind of evening you are about to spend. But clarity can also create a strange kind of pressure. Once a person has built a career around sharing, the audience begins to expect access, as if access is a subscription benefit. We start asking why a certain person was not in the video, why the celebration was private, why the family did not explain something, or why the tone suddenly changed. The creator is no longer just telling stories. She is also managing the silence around the stories she does not tell. This is why Zeinab's wedding became more than a wedding. In 2025, she and Bobby Ray Parks Jr. married in Tagaytay, and the ceremony eventually became a long video on her own channel. GMA News reported that the wedding video ran for about 40 minutes. Phil Star Life later reported on the couple responding to online rumors about the cost of the wedding and the food served to guests. The details matter less than the pattern. A private celebration became a public image, then the public image became a subject for public accounting. That cycle is now normal online. The audience sees the beautiful venue, the clothes, the flowers, the guests, and the emotional vows. Then the audience begins to calculate. How much did it cost? Who paid? Was it sponsored? Was it authentic? Was it too extravagant? The event is no longer allowed to simply exist as an event. It becomes evidence in an argument about class, taste, success, and deservingness. A creator can share a beautiful moment, and the internet can immediately turn it into an audit. This is where the word relatable becomes complicated. Relatability sounds like a compliment, but it is also a demand. It means the audience wants to recognize something familiar in the creator, even when the creator's life has become completely different from theirs. Zeinab can be traveling abroad, organizing a large celebration, or living inside a kind of production most viewers will never experience, and still be expected to feel like the friend from the neighborhood. The more successful she becomes, the more carefully that feeling has to be maintained. Zeinab's strength is that she rarely presents herself as a distant celebrity who has already figured everything out. Her videos are built around reaction. She laughs loudly, answers quickly, gets emotional, and lets the people around her affect the rhythm of the scene. That makes the channel feel social rather than polished in the traditional television sense. It feels like we are not watching a finished performance, we are watching a personality keep a room alive. The work becomes even more, complicated when family is part of the content. Family members are not just characters who can be replaced when the episode changes. They have their own moods, boundaries, and private memories. A child may enjoy the camera today and dislike it later. A partner may be comfortable with one kind of story and uncomfortable with another. A relative may join a celebration without realizing that the moment can be replayed by strangers for years. The family vlog asks a simple question with a difficult answer. Who gets to decide what belongs to everyone? That feeling is one reason Zeinab's channel works so well in the Philippines. Filipino audiences are used to treating media personalities as part of the social environment. We do not only watch a show, we talk about it with cousins, send clips to friends, and use familiar personalities as references in everyday conversation. A vlogger can become someone whose life we check in on the way we check in on an old classmate. The relationship is one-sided, but the feeling of familiarity can still be powerful. But a person cannot stay in one version of herself just because an audience became attached to it. The audience may remember the old videos as a stable part of their own life, but the creator had to continue living after the camera was turned off. That is the part viewers rarely see. The creator's growth feels sudden because our access is edited. We see the announcement, the wedding, the new house, or the new chapter, but not all the quiet days that made the change possible. The audience often wants a simple answer about Zeinab. Is she authentic? Is she overexposed? Is the family content genuine? Is the glamour too much? Is the relatability still there? But these questions assume that authenticity is a permanent personality trait, like a birthmark. Online, authenticity is more unstable. It can be an honest emotion, a carefully edited moment, an unplanned interruption, or a brand promise that audiences have learned to trust. The better question may be whether the creator still has room to change without being punished for breaking the version of herself that the audience purchased. Every upload strengthens a relationship, but every upload also creates a record. The record can be comforting, profitable, and meaningful. It can also become a cage made from the audience's favorite memories. Zeinab Harake's success shows how powerful the promise of shared life has become. She does not need to invite everyone into every part of her world. She only needs to offer enough of the world for viewers to feel that they have a place in it. That is the craft. The video gives us the room, the jokes, the food, the celebration, and the emotional beat. Then it lets us leave with the feeling that we were not just watching a stranger, we were visiting someone we somehow already knew. But a visit is not ownership. The audience can care about the creator without claiming the right to every private answer. We can enjoy the wedding video without becoming the wedding's accountant. We can appreciate the family content without treating the family as a permanent cast. We can notice the editing without assuming that every feeling was manufactured. A camera can organize a moment without creating the emotion from nothing. And maybe that is the most important thing to remember when watching Zeinab Harake. The life we see is real, but it is not the whole life. The laughter is real, but it happens inside a schedule. The closeness is real, but it is still mediated by a screen. What reaches us is a carefully chosen window, not the entire house. When the video ends, the room continues without us. The family keeps talking. The lights are turned off. The phone is placed on the table. There are conversations that will never become content, and there are ordinary afternoons that will never need a thumbnail. Those unseen moments do not make the public moments less honest. They remind us that a person's life is always larger than the version that can be uploaded. Maybe Zeinab's real achievement is not making everyone feel that they know her. It is making millions of people feel that their own messy, emotional, ordinary lives are worth returning to. And maybe the boundary we owe her is simple. We can keep watching, keep laughing, and keep caring, without demanding that she turn every private wound into proof. Because the moment a person has to perform her entire life just to be believed, the audience is no longer sharing the room. We are taking it over.